Hi Claire, so just a quick video to talk through this again. Apologies for the last video, but I must have had my mic must have switched off for some reason, or my headset broke, one or the other. But anyway, what we're going to do is just talk through the setup of your panel integration. So you almost have this 100% correct. There's just a couple of things we're going to need to change in here. So if we click first of all into the quota and have a look at the quota that you've set up, it's set so that 130 people can take the survey, which is perfect. The issue actually lies with the logic that we have set up in here. So basically this is saying increment the quota when a response is submitted that meets the following conditions. If quota full has been met. So basically you're saying only increment the quota once the quota has been met, which doesn't exactly make sense. It's a little bit conflicting. So what we need to do here is we need to set some sort of logic that will increment every time someone actually successfully submits a survey. So to do this, we would actually be basing this off of an embedded data field, which we'll add in the survey flow. So we can add right down the very bottom of our survey flow a little embedded data field. You can call it whatever you want, but just as an example, you could call it GC for good complete and set the value to be 1. So then what we could say is if embedded data, field name GC is equal to 1, so that every time someone actually completes a survey, this will increment. And then the last thing we need to do in here is that it currently says if the quota has been met, then end the current survey. But the problem is that people don't get this until the very end of the survey, so therefore people actually have to go through the whole survey before the current survey is ended, which makes no sense. People actually are fully taking the survey. So instead what we're going to change this to is none for skip logic or survey flow. And then we're just going to be setting up in our survey flow a little branch that will kick people out if the quote has actually been met. So they're the two changes that are necessary in here. First of all, is to change the condition to be based off of an embedded data, and secondly to change it to be set based off of logic or survey flow. And then you would click save. So then once that's been done, we just need to go back to the survey flow. First of all, we are going to go down to the very bottom. We're going to add a new element and we're going to add an embedded data. This is the one we're going to call whatever we want, but just an example, our GC is equal to 1. And we want to move this up just above the end of survey element so that it's given to people who actually finish the last block of questions, but before they finish the survey, so that it can be assigned to them before they actually hit the end of survey block. Then our quota will start incrementing correctly, and that's it for the quota. Next thing I'm going to ask you to do is move this EOLID right up to the very, very top of our survey flow. And the reason for this is because now when people actually come into the survey, we capture the EOLID straight away before they even answer the questions. And one reason this is important is because if people were screened out up here, the EOLID wasn't assigned until they were down here, so therefore you could have went through the survey and not actually found someone's EOLID because they were actually screened out before they got to that embedded data element. So just for safety, move this up to the very top of your survey flow. The last thing we need to do in here then is we need to set up one more branch to kick people out of the survey once the quota has been met. So to do this, we just need to click on add below here, and we're going to add a branch. For the condition then, we are going to say if quota full has been met, and OK. And then we're going to add a new element here and then make this be our end of survey element. We just need to click on customize, and then you put in the link for the redirect people who actually have quota full. So it's the one that was set up in our quota initially. Just copy it from there and paste it in here so that people... Okay, so then once that's been set up, basically the flow will read, someone will come in, we will find their EOLID straight away. If the quota has been met, they will be kicked straight out before they have to answer any questions. If the quota has not yet been met, they will just go through the survey as usual. If they get screened out, that's perfect. If not, they go down right to the very end, finish the final block of questions, get given the GC is equal to 1, and then get redirected to the good complete link. In the meantime, our quota will actually increment. So once it hits that 130 people, anyone else who comes in will just be kicked out due to the quota being full and be brought to the quota over quota link from your panel company. So that's it. That's actually the full setup. You're almost there. One last thing I want to ask, and you might need to contact your panel company for this, but what I want to know is basically when we are directing people out of the survey to the links that they've provided you with, do they need to know the EOLID of the participants? Do you need to pass this back to the panel company so they can identify the respondents? If they do, just let me know and I can talk you through how we can do that by basically just appending the EOLID onto the end of this link so that they can actually see the participants on their end.